record. Okay. And to go live on Facebook. Okay, beautiful. And now I'm going to, well, I was going to screen share, but I think I'll let you know something first. Something that just appeared yesterday, and it makes great sense to me. So you'll probably be seeing more of this. The name Parent Soother came up to me, and I realized that I have perfect skills and abilities in this area and have had to do it to myself in my recent past. So anyway, I'm going to be including this as part of what I do, but it's been part of what I do, but now it's going to be a conscious part of what I do. Okay, screen share, here we go. All right. Now, let's pull up what I'm going to start with for today. The one rule and interrupting. How to interrupt. I recently saw that in a preschool, children were being taught not to interrupt. What we need to learn is how to interrupt someone in a way that's agreeable with them, because interruption is going to happen. Everyone is constantly moving along, following their own agenda, even if it is just sitting and relaxing or thinking. Yes. Great. All right. Okay. Interrupting can cause stress for adults and kids, so let's practice. The following is going to be an example of how you might like to be interrupted. It is important to decide which ways you prefer to be interrupted. The exact details depend on what the people involved like or don't like, because we're going to be using the one rule here, which means that the people involved need to like how it goes. So, how to interrupt when you're on the phone. Let's say phone calls are a very important part of your life. You get very frustrated when you're right in the middle of a call and your kids are always pulling on your clothes and whining, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." After some thinking on this, you decide that you want your child to tap your arm and then wait for you to pay attention to them. You will pay attention to them as quickly as possible, even if it is just to hold up your finger. Then you pause your call as soon as possible to pay fuller attention to your kids. After all, they are some of the most important people in the world to you. Once you decide this, you can tell your kids that you'd like to play a game with them about when you're on the phone. I'm going to play that I'm talking on the phone and you pretend that you want to show me something. Can I show you my picture? Sure. The first thing you do is tap my arm. I'll hold up my finger to tell you that I know you want my attention. Then you wait until I can pay attention to you. Let's play. Okay. That was as much as I was going to do today. So this kind of thing you can do. When in Children's House, we used to do things like this. They're called social behavior demonstrations. And the children love them. So feel free to do this. Now let's see what is next. Okay. All right, last week I ended up only being able to do these stories. I had several slideshows available to share, but that didn't work out. So this is where we ended. And this is a story I really enjoy. I remember when it was coming to me, I had no idea how this was going to work out, but it just got revealed to me as I was writing. And so anyway, where there's a will, there's a way. But Dad, I have plans for that week. I'm going camping with some of my friends. I'm sorry, Toby, I didn't know you had anything planned. I was going to tell you tonight. I thought 2 weeks in advance would be enough notice. I'll need to take some of the camping gear. You're talking as if you're going camping, but we haven't discussed this enough for me yet. I still want you to go to Washington with me that week. Any other week, Dad, just not that one. I can't do that. My office is sending me for a meeting that week, and I just got a call from your grandmother that all the arrangements are made for the family reunion. I thought 2 weeks would be enough advance warning, too. Can't you make your camping trip for another week? We can't. Jeremy is leaving after the camping trip for the rest of the summer, and Craig is coming up especially for the trip. I would hate to miss it. I don't see how we're going to work this one out. Not so we're both happy with the results and feel we're getting what we need. I suppose you could go on your camping trip and I could go to Washington, but it's not really what I want. I was really looking forward to exploring with you and also having you with me at the family reunion. No one there has seen you since you were a little boy. When exactly is your meeting, Dad? I have one meeting on that Wednesday and another on Thursday. The family reunion is on Saturday. I thought that maybe on that Monday and Tuesday, maybe Friday, Maybe Sunday you and I would have time together to go adventuring. Which Saturday is the reunion? Before your meetings or after? After. What's your plan? I'm thinking that this has got to work out. Do you think you could take off the Monday and Tuesday after the meetings instead of the one before? I think I could work that. Why? Maybe we could leave for our camping trip a couple of days early so I get the full time with my friends. Then on Thursday or Friday, I could fly to Washington. Toby, that's great. You're becoming a master negotiator. I could not imagine how this would work. Thanks for your efforts and for understanding how important this trip is to me. Okay. Now these stories, I'll say it again in case there are new people listening. They were written long before the one rule, but the thinking, the attitude, the work that went into what is now the one rule started many, many years ago. It was called the power of respect. I called it the power of respect, and used it, lived it, no matter what. And there were some no matter what's to deal with. Because most adults around me did not believe in what I was doing. Nowadays, I would say there are a lot more people in the world who believe in this. They don't call it that, but they have these kinds of beliefs. And a lot more who are headed in that direction. Anyway, so these stories are based on what created the one rule. The thinking, as I said, thinking, attitudes, choices, decisions, things that are said, things that are done. And all of these stories are from my original book, which is where I learned that in order for me to write, I need to be inspired. It's my writing doesn't come just from my thinking. It comes only from inspiration if it's going to be used and put out into the world. I'm going to have a drink of water, and then I'll go on to the next story. Money matters. Money matters. Or money matters. Dad, I need to talk with you about finances. Now that I'm going with Shelley, I need more money. Oh, I thought girls paid their own way these days, women's lib and all. Well, they probably do more than when you were young, but they really like a guy to buy them little presents, and they admire a dude who pays their way into movies and dances and pays for dinner and whatever. I like girls. I want to treat them nice. So you need more money to do all this. Definitely. So you came to me hoping that I could give you more money? That, and even if you can't, you might have good ideas about how I can get more money. Well, to start with, I can give you 20 more a month. Dad, that's great. I never thought you could afford that much. Well, I'm making more at the shop, and I've been thinking about raising your allowance for about a month. But even so, I think now is a good time to try your hand at earning some of your money at a job. You do chores around the house, but if you like, I could really use your help at the shop. Since we have more business, I thought I would hire someone to help keep the place clean, keep the tools clean in order, run errands, that kind of thing. I'm giving you the first crack at the job. Are you interested? Could I learn about working on cars? Sure. I'd start you out at minimum wage, and if you like the work and prove yourself a valuable worker, your salary could go up quickly. I'd sure like to give it a try, Dad. I've got a feeling my life is only going to get more expensive from here, and not just because of girls. It can be exciting to be earning your own money, but I don't want this to interfere with your schoolwork, so we'll have to work out a schedule that takes that into account. I have to tell you, I'm really looking forward to this. Me too, Dad. Starting with an attitude. One thing to keep in mind here, just notice how harmonious the solutions are that these people come up with. Starting with an attitude. Jeremy, I need to talk with you. What'd I do wrong this time? You didn't do anything wrong. Did I say you did something wrong? I thought that was the only time you wanted to talk to me. Cynthia is starting to get upset with her son. She hates it when he talks to her this way. But she doesn't want to start this new approach off on the wrong foot. She doesn't think it would be very respectful to tell him to keep his attitude to the class. Don't hope in this of yours, Mom. I can't imagine that a class is going to change our great relationship. I just want to tell you that I don't want to fight with you anymore. I'm sick of it. Yeah, well, I've been sick of it for a long time, Mom. I'm out of here. For several weeks, Cynthia doesn't mention her class. She also doesn't fight with Jeremy, at least not much. When she finds herself fighting, she leaves the room. One day, as she's leaving the room to keep from fighting with him, Jeremy says, "Hey, Mom, you were right about your class. You really have stopped fighting with me. I didn't believe you would really do it. What is this class anyway?" Through her patience and persistence, Cynthia earned the beginning of Jeremy's trust and respect. By improving one aspect of their relationship, she has laid the foundation stone for a more satisfying relationship with her son. She laid it true and strong. Now they can work together to build the rest. Appreciating what is. This also is in the form of a slideshow. It was one of the ones I was going to share last week, but the slideshows wouldn't work. I hope today's slideshow works. Robin Yesterday you told me that after school you were going to Jennifer's house. Today, Mrs. Lee said you never came to their house and that she saw you playing baseball in the park. It really hurts my feelings when you lie to me, and I like to know where you are. Kristen was determined to use her new skills, sharing her feelings, not trying to trap her daughter in a lie, not giving in to her pattern of seeing her daughter's actions as wrongdoings, deserving punishments. I'm sorry, Mom. I thought you would be mad and wouldn't let me go play baseball. I'm sorry too, because in the past that would have been true. Remember our little talk yesterday evening about the class I've been taking? Well, I really want things to be different. I want us to have a good relationship. I really want you to begin to make your own decisions about your own life. I know you said that, but it's hard to believe that it's really going to be different. I know you hate it when I do tomboy things, and I want to please you, but I love them. They make me happy. The other kids say I'm a great player. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'm sorry I've made it so difficult for you to be you. I guess I wanted a daughter who wanted beautiful clothes and to play dress up and study ballet. I realize now that these things don't appeal to you. I'm so sorry I've tried to force you to be someone you're not. I love you very much, and I want to do my best to support the kind of life you want to live. Since I'm not familiar with these activities, you will have to educate me and let me know what you need from me. Mom, this is one of the nicest things you've ever said to me. I've always felt bad that I'm not the kind of daughter you want. Who knows? Maybe when I'm older, I will want to dress up in fancy clothes. Maybe you will, sweetheart. But right now, I feel very good with the way you are. I already feel like a better person for wanting you to be yourself instead of someone I created in my mind. So, tell me, what can I do to help you live the life you want to live? I hope you mean that, Mom, because I need a lot of equipment and clothing. The other kids have been sharing with me for a long time. Yes, I do mean that. But I have to warn you, I can't promise I'll ever really love baseball. That's okay, Mom. And I'll do my best not to lie to you again. I promise. This next story is also one of the slideshows I was going to share with you last week. Let's see. Hearing both sides. Mommy, Mommy, River took my doll and he won't give it back. It's my favorite doll. I want her back, Mommy. Make River give her back. I'm so sorry he took your doll. I wonder what's going on. Dana is determined not to get sucked into telling her children what to do. She really wants them to solve their own problems, though she realizes they will need lots of practice to be so good at it that they don't need her help. She has learned that there is always more than one side to any story. Make him give her back, Mommy. Do you have any idea why River would do such a thing? He just likes to be mean to me. I wasn't doing anything to him. Yesterday, he said I could use his wagon. Now he says I can't, and he won't give me my doll until I give him the wagon. But he said I could use it, and I worked hard to fix it up for my doll. I see. It sounds to me like there's some kind of mix-up here. Should we go talk with River and see if we can sort things out? Yeah, he's out in the back. Make him give me the doll, okay, Mommy? We'll figure this out so you both feel good. Hi, River. What's going on? She can have her doll when she gives me my wagon. But you said I could use your wagon, and I worked hard to fix it up. I said you could use it yesterday, not today. Anyway, I needed to carry the kittens to the mall. You're giving away the kittens? Could I go with you and help you give away the kittens? Yeah, I guess so, but don't cause me any trouble. No, I won't. Shall I take the stuff out of the wagon? And can I have my doll back? Here's your doll. You clean out the wagon and I'll get the kittens ready. When children hit. This is another of the stories that's been made into a slideshow. These aren't the slideshows. This is just my screen share for today. Hopefully there'll be one slideshow at the end though. When children hit. Wah, Daddy, Michael hit me. Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry you got hit. Let me hold you. Dalen is determined not to give in to his first angry urge to punish Michael. He remembers that first his daughter needs comforting. He holds her and strokes her hair. He also remembers that there are always at least two sides to any story. I just wanted to get my Game Boy out of his room. He's had it for a long time and I want to play with it. I didn't want to go out of his room until he gave me my Game Boy, so he hit me. Let's go talk with Michael. Dalen takes deep, slow breaths, inhaling and then being sure to exhale, to calm himself as he walks slowly to Michael's room. He knocks on the door. Michael, we would like to talk with you. What do you want? Can we come in or would you join us out here? I can hear you through the door. I'd feel much better if I could see you. I'm not going to hurt you. Dalen remembers to keep sharing his feelings and needs and to speak respectfully to his son. Okay, come in. Thanks, Michael. I need you to tell me that I need to tell you that it upsets me when you hit your sister. She hit me. Well, you didn't tell me that, Claire. I don't like you to hit him either. He wouldn't give me my toy. It's special. I don't like it when you hit each other to try to get what you want. You hit us. You're right, Michael. I used to hit you, and I'm very sorry I did. I thought it was the right thing to do. Now I know it was wrong, very wrong, and I promise never to do it again. Oh, all right. I guess I won't hit her anymore either. Here's your Game Boy, Claire, but don't come in my room without permission. It really makes me mad. That's why I wouldn't give you your Game Boy. Okay, Michael, I won't come in your room without asking you. And Michael, I won't hit you either. We'll be a no-hitting family. Yes, Claire, that's exactly what we are. Thank you both for working this out so well. I think we have a great family, and I love you both. Trouble with teachers. I hate my teacher. You're having some problem with him? He says that until I finish my report, I have to stay in during lunch recess. That's the only part of school that I like. I hate him. I wish he were dead. I can understand why you are upset. It seems like he's punishing you because you have not finished the work he assigned. He is punishing me. He didn't make Rachel stay in, and she's not done either. Rachel's not done either, but she gets to go out at lunch. Well, she's almost done, and she said she'd finish it tonight. But you have too much to do to finish tonight. Yeah, but I hate writing that dumb report. You have to write about something you don't like. No, I like the subject. I'm writing about Kodiak bears. I like reading about them. I just hate writing reports. I understand. I wonder what could be done about it. I don't like you to miss lunch recess either. Would you like me to talk with your teacher? I already did. He said everyone's report is due tomorrow, and by having me stay in during lunch recess, he's giving me extra time to finish. I guess I shouldn't have spent my time drawing and writing a story about a mountain man making friends with a Kodiak bear. If I'd just done the report, I would have been done on time. I guess I got distracted. At least that's what Mr. Jensen said. Ryan, do you have your picture and your story here? I'd really like to see them. Yeah, I brought all my report stuff home. I thought if I work on it tonight, I won't have to spend so many recesses in class. Ryan, I think this picture is great. See, it even shows its habitat. This story is wonderful. I've learned a lot about the Kodiak just by reading it, and it's interesting too. Yeah, reports are so boring. Ryan, did you show these to Mr. Jensen? Yeah, that's when he said I was getting distracted. Did he read this story? Yeah, he said I could turn them in with my report for extra credit. He said they were good, but that I have to learn to follow directions and not get so easily distracted on my own projects. He said I can do my own projects at home. He said at school I need to work on what he assigns. He said he knows best how to prepare me for junior high and high school. Holly is really upset with this attitude on the part of the teacher. She believes that Ryan has done excellent work, and even though it does not meet the form the teacher assigned, she believes it covers all the material more than adequately. She wants her son to be able to continue to develop his drawing and creative, informative writing. She does not want him to waste his time writing reports which to him are boring, and to learn to hate learning. Ryan, if it's okay with Mr. Jensen, let's see if we can't come to some agreement about the type of work you do in class. If he isn't cooperative, then I'd like to visit the other 5th grade class and see if that teacher might be better for you than Mr. Jensen. It seems to me that he might not be the best teacher for you. The only other teacher is Ms. Higson. I'm really glad I didn't get her class. All the kids say she is totally mean. And I'm afraid that if you talk to Mr. Jensen, he'll be even harder on me than he has been. Ryan, if Mr. Jensen is not as helpful as I would like him to be, then I would like to talk to you about home study. Have you ever heard of home study? No. It's where you do your studies at home and places other than school. You might have to study some state-required subjects, but you can study them in your own way. You can study when you want to, and you can study whatever other subjects interest you. It seems to me that what you learned about the Kodiak and the way you have shared what you learned is at least as good as a report. And for you, it's better. It's not good to spend your time doing things you hate. It just makes the world a more unhappy place rather than a happier one. When would I get to be with my friends? You could be with them after school, on weekends, and during holidays. I'd miss lunch recess, and I'd miss having class with Jeremy. Maybe he'd like to do home study too. If it's necessary, I'll talk with Jeremy's mother. She'll probably agree to this if he wants to do it. It's a good thing I have a teaching credential. That would make things easier with the school officials. But first, I'm going to talk with Mr. Jensen. If we can work things out with him, then you can still go to school with all your friends and have fun with them at lunch recess. Even if Mr. Jensen is pleasant to me, Ryan, you have to let me know how things go in the classroom, whether you are happy there, okay? But what about the report that's due tomorrow? I'll call Mr. Jensen right now and try to get an appointment with him this afternoon. You just plan to turn in your story in the picture. I'll make sure that's okay one way or another, even if I have to go with you in the morning, if he can't see me today. Okay, Mom, I hope this works. This next story is from the chapter on babies, and it's using this approach with a baby. Sam and his mother Iris were exploring a pathway in Aquatic Park. She was so glad he could finally walk. He is getting so heavy, and she was getting tired of carrying him. It's been more than a year of carrying him. Iris was feeling quite peaceful and satisfied, keeping an eye on him and watching the waves lap up against the sand. She felt tugging on her skirt. Looking down, she saw sweet baby arms reach up to her. Up! She had learned that there is always some reason for what he wants. She picked him up. He bounced in her arms and pointed back the way they had just come. She walked back. When they reached the last shop they had passed, he pointed up. That? There was one of the most spectacular kites she had ever seen. So often, Sam offers her wonderful experiences and adventures. Doctor's orders. Yesterday, Lindy hurt her back, and her chiropractor gave her strict instructions not to lift heavy objects. She said that included Maddie. Lindy is certainly glad that Maddie can walk now, but she is not sure how this is going to work. Everything went fine until she was making dinner. Maddie was hungry and tired, and he wanted her to pick him up. Maddie, my back is hurt. I can't pick you up right now. Uppy, he leans against her legs, stretching up his arms. She knows he wouldn't ask if he didn't need her, but she really can't lift him up. She turns off the stove, walks to a chair, and sits down. Come here, Maddie, I can hold you here. Maddie runs over and climbs up into her lap. They hug each other for a couple of minutes. Then they sing a few of their favorite songs. Maddie, now I have to finish making dinner. Randy and Eva and Wendy are coming for dinner. Your daddy will be home soon, and he really appreciates it when the food is ready. He's usually so hungry. I need you to get down. You can go find the kitty. She's probably hungry too. Maddie clings to her neck. Oh, Maddie, I really have to finish dinner. I'm sure you want food too. She doesn't want Maddie to be unhappy, but she can't hold him while she's standing up, and she wants to finish preparing dinner. Maddie, would you like to watch me work? You can sit on the counter. You can help me. She puts him down, saying, come with me, Maddie. She stands up and reaches down her hand as she walks to the stove. She moves the stepping stool over near the counter. Mommy, Uppy. Maddie runs over to her. I can't pick you up, but you can climb up here. I'll help you. Then you can help me. Lindy puts a small towel on the counter for him to sit on and helps him climb up. She stands in front of him to make sure he won't fall off. Here, Maddie, will you hold this spoon for me? Do you want a piece of apricot? She is so relieved. This has to work out well. This has worked out well. She is so relieved this has worked out well. So far, so good. Okay, now I'm going to stop this screen share. Well, let's just try this. I'm going to try the slideshow. So far, so good. So, welcome to Karen Rice's Raising Happy Kids Zoom show, episode 98, Intro to Creating Peace and Harmony with the One Rule. During this 1-hour Zoom show, I focus on sharing tips and lessons on the one rule to raising happy kids. Each episode has at least one example of the one rule in action, demonstrating how it helps you raise a happy child. Then when we have guests, we have Q&A and discussion. When I talk about raising happy kids or creating harmony with kids, I bring up the one rule. The one rule equals agreement. Agreement equals harmony. Using the one rule means you find agreement. That's the rule. You find a solution that everyone likes. You found agreement. You found harmony. Knowing and following the one rule is all you really need to create harmony between you and your kids. In any situation where there are differences that might lead to conflict between you and your kids, use the one rule. I learned this strategy from 3-year-old children. I was teaching them a complex conflict resolution strategy, actually intended for adults, and they taught me this. So don't think you're in for a rough time. It's simple, it's easy, it's powerful and effective. It works if you use it. The one rule: start strong. You have decided that you really want harmony with your child. That sounds so good, right? Everyone feeling good and getting along. You've decided that you do not want to make your child do what they do not want to do, and you do not want to do what you do not want to do, and you are going to make this work. You have decided that you want to use the one rule to make this happen. This is going to become your new habit. You remember that when you use the one rule, you are sharing the following messages with your kids, plus a lot more. I want us all to be happy. We are each important. Together, we can solve our problems. I believe in you. I love you. To create this new habit, you're going to start with yourself and what you want. You decide that you're going to let how you feel about a situation determine whether you agree with it or not. If it feels good, then you can agree with it. If not, you cannot. Think about a situation. Ask yourself, is this situation okay with me, just as it is? If yes, your work on that is done. If no, what would have to change, be different, so that I could feel good about it? Maybe several versions of this situation would feel fine with you, maybe only one. This exercise, this practice, helps you make a habit of following the one rule. No matter what age your kids are, this exercise helps ensure a strong start and makes following the one rule so much easier. Here is an understanding that might make following the one rule even easier. Recently, I asked myself a question: what do I want people to feel when they are connecting with my work? I definitely want them to feel good about themselves. Then the following answer appeared, to my surprise and delight. I want people to realize that they are already using the one rule. That understanding surprised me, and as more and more of it was revealed to me, it delighted me. Of course, people are already using the one rule. I am not teaching them anything they don't know. I am not teaching them anything strange to them. I am just helping them expand their use of something they use daily without thinking about it. They use it. You use it. Every time you come to a decision inside of yourself, you're using the one rule. Most likely you had to consider several options or possibilities to reach that decision. Even if it just took you a few seconds for you to agree with yourself, that is what I want. You also use the one rule whenever you agree with someone else. Together, you come to a decision, an agreement. Yes, tomorrow I'll go to the auto parts store after I get my nails done. Even with your kids, you're using the one rule. You're coming to agreements. Think about it. Of course you are. You are just not thinking of it as a rule, as something required. So at times you are not coming to agreement. I am here to help you think of coming to agreement as required, as a rule, as the one rule. You just expand the situations where you come to agreement until coming to agreement is just what you do and your kids do. It is the rule you and your kids follow. When you use the one rule, you are creating harmony. Your kids are creating harmony. You're becoming used to creating harmony, familiar with how good it feels to everyone involved. One point to be clear on is that even if a situation seems complicated, and it seems that it is impossible to find a solution that everyone involved can feel good about, it is still possible. An important thing to remember is that there is a way for things to work so that everyone involved gets to feel good. Keep that in mind. This has been my experience whenever I have made this effort. A clear, helpful way to introduce using the one rule to your kids actually originates from the first time the children introduced me to what is now the one rule. You can do what I did. So they could understand what we were doing, I told the two little girls 3 things. 1, you are each important. Point to each person involved. You are important and you are important. And if it's your problem too, I am important. 2, you or we each deserve to feel good. 3, we can use the one rule to find a solution that feels good to each of you or us. Then tell them what the one rule is. When you actually start working with your kids using the one rule, helping them follow their interests is one of the easiest ways for you to start. That makes sense, right? It is also one of the most beneficial things you can do for your kids. Why is it good for your kids to do what interests them? One primary reason is that their interest is a key to helping them become the best versions of themselves that they can become. When we do what interests us, we are very engaged and focused. Think about doing something that interests you. When we are engaged and focused, what we do and produce tends to be of much better quality than if we were not interested. Interest helps result in excellence. An even more important result of being engaged and focused is that our whole being is involved in what interests us. That is why we are engaged and focused. We are experiencing harmony, inner harmony. That is a good reason to allow and encourage our kids to do what they are interested in doing. I have observed children doing what really interests them, and they become peaceful, harmonious people, even if they were not before. It doesn't mean that everything that interests our kids is going to always interest them. They may be interested for their lifetime, or even for 10 years, or only 10 days or 10 minutes. The point is that they are following their interests, not the specific thing or experience that interests them, or the length of time it interests them. So if they ask for your help, please help your kids follow their interests. If for any reason you really do not want to do what they're asking you to do, that is a perfect time to use the one rule. Another reason for helping your kids follow their interests is one that is taking care of you too. When they are eager to do something instead of resisting doing it, you do not have to encourage them to do it or insist that they do it, let alone force them to do it. Think of how much of your time and energy could be available for you to use as you wish. Helping them follow their interests is actually the one rule in action, taking care of you and your kids. I'm glad you're here. Okay, is the end of the slideshow. Now we have still a few minutes, so let's go to the website. In case you haven't been to the new website, it showed up before though. It's taking its time making it. Oh, I don't want that version of it. Sorry, folks. I want the one. This is the back. What started opening was the back office, I guess they call it, or something. All the blog posts and in Facebook groups, and there's other options. I'll have a great week, and thanks for joining me. See you next week.